see. We're back. Yes, God. Hey, y'all. It's Megan from the Yes, God cast. And this is the place where we come to remember our true divine inheritance, our true divine identity, and how much power we have to actually select our reality, how we've already been doing it, and how being mindful and intentional and conscious about this process can align our personal will with divine will. And once that happens, baby, watch out. Yes, God. So this is the third part of a series that I just did with episodes 6 and 7. I'm talking about the pillars that I personally use to coach my students, and that they have experienced massive transformations. Go ahead and check out my link. If you'd like to work with me, I do have a bunch of coaching testimonials there. Also, if you check out Yes God Wellness Google business profile, you will see tons of testimonials there as well. So we're going to jump right into it. We have been talking about my ACE framework, which is a 3-pillar framework: awareness, in other words, what's really hood; clarity, in other words, flipping the script; and then experience, in other words, delusions of grandeur, baby. This is the point where we come in the process. Once we have been aware and taken accountability, and we've been very mindful of our current circumstance and how we have selected that with our underlying beliefs, with our heart posture, with our silent expectations, then we move over to flipping the script, to getting clear about what our divine self looks like, what she talks like, he or she talks like, what he or she feels like, what he or she experiences, right? We get that picture in our mind and we use that to focus in our imagination. And so this is where the third pillar comes in of delusions of grandeur. We just completely shift over to that version of ourselves. And we do that with a lot of different things that I've already talked about the podcast, which first one is learning how to stop, drop, and shut the fuck up. Okay. This is the best way that you can really catch yourself from responding and reacting as the prior version of you who has selected the circumstances that you're already in. Okay. So being quiet, pausing, catching ourselves when we are triggered, catching ourselves when that inner narrative, that dialogue starts to tell us that things are not working out, that, things are going down the tube, that there's a problem, that this is not going to end well, right? All of those underlying things that cause fear, anxiety, and depression, we catch those with that pause, and we sit there in that silence for a moment to remember STFU, the stillness that fuels understanding. And we take that pause to wait a minute, remember, hold up, wait a minute. What's going on in my mind is not real right now. Actually, what's going on in my circumstances is not real right now. Yes, it may look real and it may appear real, but what's really more real than my circumstances is what I'm telling myself about the circumstances, is what my imagination is doing in response to the circumstances, what it's telling me the end result or what these things mean about me. Okay, so being able to pause allows us to disconnect from what the previous version of ourselves is responding to. Okay, so the next thing we go into after that pause, after that shut just the lips but the mind too, we say, wait a minute, okay, I already decided, I already know who my God self is, right? I've already taken the time to identify them. I've already flipped this script. So let me go back in my notebook, let me go back in my journal, whatever tools that I've been using to get this far in the process. Let me go back and reframe and remember that this is my true identity, that my true identity is found in my imagination, how I view myself, how I view other people, how I view circumstances, how I view the world, right? That is what's really true to each and every person. Okay? And so being able to connect back with that clarity, that script that we flipped, we then get delusional about it. Okay? We recall that new script that we created and we just go in on it. We go ham on it. We go ham on it, right? We get delusional about it. The car breaks down on the side of the road. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you, God. I am actually so excited and optimistic about where this is going to lead me today. Right? That is an example of a delusion of grandeur. Instead of going down the rabbit hole, getting pissed off, crying, calling everybody to complain about it, you change your heart posture right then and there after you've given yourself a chance to zoom out of it, to calm down and say, wow, this is amazing, God. I know this version of myself that I have in my imagination, my God self, knows that everything works out for my good. My God self knows that everything is always at the divine time and the divine place for God's miracles to be revealed to me. So I know that my mind is trying to tell me that I'm late and that this is a problem and it's going to be expensive and this and this and then all the other things that my mind does, but I'm going to stick firm. I'm going to be delusional. I'm going to ignore all of that. Sitting on the side of the road with my car broken down, I'm going to ignore all of that, and I am going to be open to the infinite possibilities in how that this is just one domino in the unfolding of my desires. Okay, that is what being delusional is about when it comes to context of this ACE framework. Okay, so it is completely ignoring reality, and it is selecting a new reality that you have already identified and engineered in your mind, in your imagination. Okay, and it's sticking to that script, sticking to the script. So what was really hood, we figured out, we flipped the script, now we got to stick to the script. Whatever the script is in our mind, we got to stick to it. I don't care if, like I said, the car's at the thing, the house is on fire, we just got news about a health diagnosis. We just got whatever it is. Wow, you know what? I don't receive that. I don't care if it's sitting right in my face. I don't care if it's causing physical pain in my body. That is not who I am. And I know with the power of my mind and the power of God that works through me, that this can be overcome. And guess what? This may even be a path to my greater good. But the way that I'm going to allow that to come into me faster is to shift over to that perspective, shift over to that delusion as quickly as possible. Yes, God. And then being that, right? So be fully delusional and again, ignore that 3D circumstance. Remember to go into that imagination. Remember to regulate yourself with your breath, okay? Remember to give yourself permission to not care. Give yourself permission to surrender and let go, right? Because usually a trigger happens when we receive information about something not going the way we wished it had gone. Right? That's typically what a trigger is. So when we can detach away from that trigger through that pause, through that silence, and then we can put some distance between it, right? Because when things happen to us, what we've normally done is we've identified with the thing happening. Oh, I have the worst luck. Oh, things never work out for me. Oh, when it rains, it pours. Oh, when it, you know what I mean? Money doesn't grow on trees. Whatever kind of sayings that may be rattling around in your mind, whether it came from your parents, whether it came from your last relationship, whether it came from, you know, the crap TV that you may be taking in, like regardless of where it comes from, separating yourself from it and identifying, this is something that I'm going through. This does not define who I am. And this has no bearing on my success. This has no bearing on the outcome of my desires. My desires are already done. Why are they already done? Because I've already seen them in my imagination to the point I've imagined them so much that I actually got the feeling that it was already real. And so this is what it talks about in the Bible about giving it to yourself. Right? He who has will be given more abundantly. He who does not have, even what they do have, will be taken from them. So we're not waiting on the world and the circumstances to confirm or prove anything to us. We're not waiting for that. We are using our imagination to confirm and prove. If I can see it, then I will see it, right? If I can see it in my mind, then I know that it's coming, right? Because that's what's been happening for our whole lives. Again, even though we may not have been aware of it, any circumstance that we are experiencing has first started as a figment of our imagination. Everything, all of it. Okay. And when we can really grasp that and we can really, really accept that, that is such a liberating, empowering fact about reality, about life, about energy, about God, about this world, about the human experience. Okay. And there are many, many, many great successful people who talk about this. Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza, Neville Goddard, Reverend Ike. Who's the guy I learned about today? He is amazing. Oh my gosh. I was listening to his stuff. I had to kind of put it down because it was a little deep. I was like, okay, I wasn't ready for all this. What's his name? His name is he's got the book called 12 Powers of Man. I don't remember right now. Hold on. I want to look it up though, because I want to give him credit. Because he was a pioneer. He was talking about this stuff back in the 1800s. Charles Fillmore. Baby. Like he breaks it all the way down about the 12 disciples and the faculties of the mind and the body part they correlate to and the month they correlate to. I was like, yeah, that was a lot. But yeah, so just to say, like, anybody who is in this space of spirituality, of metaphysical, of quantum healing, quantum manifestation, quantum jumping, right? We're all saying the same thing. We're all saying the same thing. The brain-heart coherence, right, happens through the imagination. So currently, if the circumstances we're in are not what we desire, it's because our brain and heart have been coherent about that, whether it was conscious or unconscious. So now we are aware of that relationship. So now we want to be intentional about creating coherence with the personal will and the divine will and bringing them together and understanding that my God power lies in my ability to imagine, lies in my ability to respond to that what's not as if it were, right? That is a definition of faith. And this is all biblically based, okay? So, yes, God. So I hope this was helpful to someone. Again, this would be best if you listen to episodes 6, 7, and 8 back to back, and so you can get a full picture of this. I love you all. I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful, magnificent day. I hope you are experiencing health, happiness, peace, prosperity, love, bliss, abundance. And if this is resonating with you, please feel free to leave me a comment, send me a message. Let me know what's really hood, y'all. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Peace.